respecting your medicine, whatever medicine that means to you, if it resonates, and you are your own medicine, source of medicine, extending your medicine by being true to yourself. Anything that feels heavy in the field, allowed to be dropped, that there is another way, a better aligned way for yourself and others, and that everyone has their higher self. And in that level, they're taken care of as well. So focusing on what you need, what brings you joy and fulfillment. That everything really is taken care of. The field is full and complete already. It's just the illusion of limitation, the illusion of time and space, the illusion of separation. And that only love is real. And that our essence is literally love and light from that. Okay. Anything particularly coming through is on your mind or on your path?
Yeah, I've been feeling like big contrasts. Like when I went when I was driving from New Orleans back, it feels like this. And um trying not to attach to the story, but I feel myself kind of getting carried away like a lot heavily these days. But I
Mm.
still feel like yeah, there's like a lightness as well. It's like strange because the whole hurricane thing is happening. It feels like a very collective
Right.
like
Mhm.
pain, and I felt a little bit confused because the threat felt so real. And so it's been feeling almost like too committed to letting go as much as I can in the moment,
Mm.
or
Mm.
like as much as I'm able to notice, or like committed to attempting to notice.
Mm. Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, that dropped for a minute and felt like shame cycle came in, and I like caught that towards the end. Um, yeah, I think right now it feels like I've been having a lot of questions about what my next step is, but I think I've also just been doing like I haven't really been planning anything out, and it's all been like unfolding itself, and I have been taken care of. So I feel like I'm being shown so much, and yeah.
Also, Yeah, what do you feel is like your highest excitement in this moment?
Um, at this moment, it feels like community. It feels like just being in community with people feels good, and also the chance to like, yeah, I got an opportunity to work for a photography thing, like a
So
publication,
cool.
to take pictures for people. So I'm feeling pretty excited about that. I don't know. It's funny. It's really funny because I've been getting everything I wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
And it feels like really, really funny because like I'm getting everything I wanted and I love it. And at the same time, I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like I don't really feel like, yeah, I'm just like, okay, and I'm getting it. And it feels like, it feels almost like a cherry on top, but it doesn't feel like the thing.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great distinction. Yeah, it's like almost you always get what you want, right? And then but then there's like a knowing of there's something more to it. So like leaning onto it. Like and it's you don't have to feel bad that you get it. You know what I mean? Like you get these physical manifestations or realizations. But yeah, there's like in this game, it's just infinite expansion. So it's like level ups are just constant, change is constant. But it always like gets clear like what is it that you really want? And that it could never be like outside of you. And that's kind of that commitment to truth to see that, yeah, a lot of things are meaningless, but it's still, it doesn't mean that you don't go through those processes or you don't go into your highest excitement. It's like there is value in your highest excitement and like your photography, your true passions as a soul. So it's like staying true to that no matter what, like staying true to yourself and your passions. It's just it kind of like I feel like truth, enlightenment, empowerment kind of work as like a triad in that way, that they kind of express an element that helps each other. So it's like empowerment, enlightenment, and truth kind of go hand in hand. And the more you go in one direction, it helps another aspect. So it's like you can't, yeah, like you can't go wrong because like you're always guided. And it is a really nonlinear path to have.
Yeah, I think I was feeling a fear came in because I felt like I don't know what the even the fear was. It's so silly now, but I definitely felt this fear that I wasn't gonna get what I want, or because I felt like I was in such what for me felt in that moment like such low vibration.
Hmm.
Like I felt like it felt like whatever I felt, like the lightness that I felt before was not even there. Like I felt, which is silly now, but like I felt like I was lost. Like even like last time we spoke. Um, so I felt like for some reason I felt like I was gonna be punished. Like I was not get what I want because I'm showing like myself being in the really low lows. So I felt like I wasn't letting myself feel the low lows because of that. Um, but that kind of felt silly because I still got what I wanted. And I was like, oh, like it definitely felt like a moment like it didn't matter what I do, I will still get like be taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Like you always are taken care of. And I think that kind of seems to be a reflection too of no matter what, like how you feel even, it's like you're still unconditionally loved. And there could be like the impulse of like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not at that, high state or flow state. But yeah, it's like it doesn't really work that way. It's like I think from experience, it always feels like there's always going to be unconditional love, but it's almost like this experiencing is basically showing us what beliefs we really have, like on a moment to moment, like how we deal with people or like feeling guilt about what we actually want or like a physical manifestation or something. But yeah, like God has no judgment. It's like there's no right or wrong because they're just equally in appearance in the screen. So it feels yeah, there's no God doesn't have a feeling. It's just our description, our feelings about what comes to pass. Yeah. And it's almost like that's kind of like that game too. It's like you kind of see what like what is being labeled as bad or guilty. And then until it's like transmuted, it's like, oh, actually, that's just a belief system I'm running. You're doing a service for the collective too. It's like you're transmuting the energy because everything's holographic. And once you could forgive, and like in Course in Miracles, forgiveness, the truer sense of forgiveness is that your brother can never do wrong. You can never do wrong. Your holy brother, holy son, holy sister of Christ. So any behavior, it's not personal. It's like it's just energy. So yeah, whole forgiveness is like I forgive my brother for something he didn't do, or I forgive my sister for something she didn't do. And that really is like what time is. It's like time is basically just used for forgiveness or to reveal the unconditional love that's always been here. Because even let's say like music, like some people think that there's demonic stuff in rap or metal, but that creates like a separation, a judgment in that energy. But it's like God doesn't care. Like God's neutral in that regard. So if you have a certain attraction or preference, like that's your soul's preference. And it's almost like we are playing it out. Is somehow it balances each other out. Because I feel like if you're a metal fan, there's also country fans. It's like they're equally God beings. They're equally accepted. It's just you have different tastes and palates.
Yeah. I yeah, yeah, I feel like I'm just taking it moment by moment or like letting my it flow or noticing that it's flowing on its own
Yeah,
here.
yeah. It always is. It really is. And then it's okay, like if we get like stuck on a thought pattern or we just feel low or contracted, like that's okay too. But it's like the quicker we resolve it or let go, surrendering, allowing spirit to like take care of it, just our energy just is just more ourselves. We're just become more ourselves, really. But it is like a constant flow, a constant process of that.
Does it like in the beginnings when you first like are, you know, developing this way of I mean like being more developing this way of being, this new way of being?
Yeah.
Does it feel like for you did it feel like a lot of work at first and then it didn't or
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of relative in that regard. I do believe you need like effort, like you need to put like go all the way in. It's almost like an ego death. Like if you ever had, oh, cool. Okay, so you're asking about how it was in the beginning. Well, yeah, I do feel like there is like a divine timing, but it's like once you have that intention, it's like, all right, you just want truth no matter what. It's like there's almost like a superhero kind of like your higher self is like, yeah, like they'll give you all the resources, but it's like you're still committed to doing the work kind of thing. So it's a little bit of both. Like I do feel like it almost feels like you're dying to the old way, but it's like it's better than living how you used to be living. But you still have to make amends and peace with like how you were thinking before, and like how you were before. Because like there is still, yeah, conditioning from society, from your family, and like your childhood stuff. So I do feel like it is like it's still a process, and it still does take time and energy, and kind of like a, yeah, like a intention to do that. But there's it's like you need joy too. It's like I think you're combining what makes you feel good, and then once you are like tapped into, like you're in flow, like you're doing the things you love to do, it also allows you to get downloads from like things that weren't making sense before, and you kind of just reintegrate through that. Because I like right now, I don't feel like there could be a distinction of how it was in the beginning, but even the beginning, I felt like it's just like a process. It's like getting a new job almost. Like you just kind of get used to it, and then like new things open. Like things, it's like they call it like refined perception. So it's like things kind of open up, and then you kind of get used to it, and then more stuff comes in, and you kind of transmute it again. But like the general principles of like transmutation and like then forgiveness is pretty constant. And then of course there's gonna be times where it feels more intense. Because yeah, like it is related to everything. It's like you're connected to everything. And then there is like a collective consciousness coming up. And especially now it feels like you kind of see it right in your face, and more of us are awakening to who we really are. So it's like we all have our choices of like how much intensity we want to go through. And intensity doesn't necessarily like mean that you're going through it, but it's like it is part of the process. Yeah, like I do feel like intensity usually is a sign, but not. It's not like it's not something to be attached on. It's like, oh yeah, because that could be a thing too, right? Like I'm attracted to intense feelings or intense spiritual awakening practices.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just like more of like a quality or description.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed, I didn't catch it before, but I noticed that there was this like part of me that, like people saying like you choose like what you want, and I felt this like part, like me being like upset because I was like, whoa, it's not what I want though. Like I don't know. Anyways, I think these days I am starting to notice that I'm starting to notice more things that are coming. Like I can't just, I don't know if this I can't just I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, it feels like, yeah, it feels like it's just like a refined perception. You just notice things more. It's like things you wouldn't notice. And then, like even if you kind of like talk about it, you kind of get scared about talking about it sometimes because like, oh, what would people think about me? But really, that's just the same, like condensed vibration of the belief that there's others, people from past experience that can influence how I think. But it really is just like it's all your field. So it's like your yeah, like your thoughts, your perception and sense perception. So definitely, yeah, refined perception. You kind of notice things that are pretty subtle, and then it gets refined more and more.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to find some lightness. I've been so serious about it. Like I've been
Right.
feeling very serious.
Cool.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a divine comedy too. It's like the seriousness is just part of it in a way too. It's like we're so serious about getting it right.
Yeah.
Awakening. Ugh.
I know it feels, yeah. I had, yeah, I've been noticing a few like conditioning that I have like come up a lot lately. Mainly with money actually, which I feel like I have like a lot of like scarcity. Like I feel like scared or I feel like noticing a lot of scarcity.
Mhm.
And I've noticed some things that I feel like slowly I've been starting to feel more open. Like I think whenever you had texted me, that about like that because I owed you money.
Mhm.
I had money, but for some reason, because the hurricane had just happened, I got scared and I was like, oh my gosh. Um, I heard this voice going like, you need to save your money.
Yeah.
But some other part of me that was not the voice was like, no, like who cares? Like just fucking do it. Just, like give it. So I did. I listened to that voice. I listened to that sensation. And then I got like $100 like right after. He's like, which I was like, what? This was so funny.
Yeah.
Um, I just thought it was so funny. Like I was like, that's. I'm starting to notice. Like I feel like I'm slowly starting to pick up on like this like subtleness. Like my trip to New Orleans, I couldn't leave, and somehow I got the chance. Like I thought I couldn't leave, and I was like really like hung up on like wanting to leave and going to New Orleans. And my roads got like flooded, and all these things happened, and I was just like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna go. Like whatever, like it's fine. Like I have made my peace with it. And the next day, like somebody came and like cut the roads up so we could like leave, and somebody brought me gas like randomly.
Um,
So it's been like I think there's still like a part of me that's trying to believe it all the way. Like it's still like a part that's like, yes, it's like this it's the truth. Like that's the truth, and fully committing to that is what.
yeah. Yeah, it's powerful, like truly committed. And yeah, the all inness. It's almost like we're always taken care of. Any sense of like we're gonna die is just the ego. It's like because we can't. It's like literally of course it's like it really is a whole system of thoughts and even the littlest things like a hurricane or car going wrong or like a car accident like that's just the same like fear. I think something bad could happen. But really it's like there's a higher force, which is you, your higher self, always guiding you. There's like angels working with you all the time. It's just allowing yourself to connect with that. Hmm. Yeah, something else came up too of the inquiry work is going to happen. It's kind of like baseline, but also noticing what happens, even in the body position. Like if you're lying on the back and it happens, like
Mhm.
notice any differences there because you could see maybe the body is trying to tell you something, like a movement or like a wiggle in the lower body.
Yeah. I think I had this like moment where I feel like I haven't been paying attention to my body or to the body.
Yeah.
I think before for many other reasons, but for now I'm like, shut up, you're not real. But that's not
Yeah.
true.
Right.
But that's just like complete BS. Just
Uh, yeah. I mean, it is true. It's like it's not real, but it's like, yeah, it could get caught up in the pure illusion. But again, like, yeah, like the body is just like anything else in the sense of like giving it love or appreciation. It's like there is value to having a physical body. And it also, yeah, it mirrors like the other invisible bodies, the subtle bodies. So there is a lot of wisdom and presence in the physical body as well. Yeah.
I'm having this I think this came up with like something that's happening and I'm not I just wanted to talk it out because maybe I would have like something would come to me if I just spoke it here. I have a camera and when I was in New Orleans a girl dropped it and it broke. I mean it
Mm.
works, but I need a basically they told me I can't save it anymore. So I have to get a new one.
Mhm.
And I thought I didn't have I don't really have money. But I started a GoFundMe for my Venmo thing for my grandpa, and some other people have also started things for my grandpa. And I have money. I'm seeing that there's a lot of money that I could grab to replace my camera that's lost.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like a push and pull because there's like this like self-righteous part of me that's like no, like this is your money for you that I got for you. But there's another part of me that's like, oh, I need money though as well.
Yeah. 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 I mean, there's no lack in money. It's like just because it says something on your bank account or your GoFundMe is like that's just one thing. But even the universe is full of money and you're connected to access with it. Like even if you just ask your higher self, like, how do I get this, whether it's the camera, because it would benefit myself and giving yourself permission to do that. But really, it's just like a win-win. If all parties, like you could ask that all parties win, then you could create that for yourself. And some things can show up. Like maybe someone gives you a piece of the camera, or you get the money somehow to get that camera. But yeah, like the universe always is on your side. It's just getting clear on it and that all parties are winning.
I think, and I think something that came up, like some old patterns or like thinking, is that with my family, money was always like a big issue,
Mhm.
and whenever we had control of money, there was like a lot of deceiving. Like people would like take it or like I guess be taken advantage, and I think in this situation that is definitely.
Yeah, it's in your field. It's like it's almost like a tugging energy because you could have like a vocal clip of your parents saying something, but it's like the ego dot system, whether they have it in your parents or whoever. And yeah, it's just not true. It's like you could always prove it wrong by saying truth, by seeing like no matter what your parents say or what seems to be the circumstances, it's like what's true is abundance because the universe is abundant. And just allowing it to be transmuted or just seeing the circumstances as that's just a circumstance. It doesn't define me. It doesn't define the infinite, abundant, perfect being that I am, that you are.
I also had something else come up, um, housing housing wise, before I went. If I don't know, if it's starting to feel like it's like a like if I just really want to do it, then I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah. If it's a hell
And
yes, if it's like yes, I want to do it, or like a 10 out of 10 to yes, then
then
that's
do it.
like yeah, like your higher self guiding you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's funny because like this housing situation, I have somewhere to stay, but something's like telling me like I need to go. I need to like leave.
Okay.
Um, so I think I'm having fears because I wouldn't know where else to go. But I guess these are the moments I'm like, whatever, just
Yeah.
leave. And
Well, where do you want to go if you had your idea housing situation?
I would want to go somewhere in the woods as well, but not too far from town because I live like an hour or two away from town, and I thought I thought that's what I wanted because I thought I wanted to be alone, and that's how it'd be like. I don't know. I'd be like really meditating in the woods, and I don't know. But I was there, and I was like, I don't want this actually. I
Okay.
like talking to people, so I think somewhere I could like interact with people and would feel good, and somewhere with more space because I did tiny house, and I thought I could be like without nothing. Like I'm like I don't need that, but I don't need it. I'd seen that I don't need it, but I like it. I like having space and
Yeah.
like so that yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's like allowing that to happen and kind of create that vision, or even you could write it down, like the idea house and what you will be doing it, how it feels to you.
Yeah. I think the pressure or like the feedback that keeps getting I like getting stuck on is the people that I'm like renting from are like also depending on my money, and I think I'm noticing this thing that I'm like just doing I don't know. I think that it's kind of tricky because I'm like doing what I want no matter what, or like I don't know. That's like a me leaving preemptively. I feel like a sense of guilt. There's like guilt comes up
Yeah, sure. So
for why.
let's connect that. Yeah, so it's like there's always some form of free will, and whether we're conscious about it or not, like with our roommates or with their parents, but we could always rearrange the agreements. Like you could verbally rearrange it, that's one way, or like if people have like contracts, your signature and stuff, but also like energetically. So just removing any fears of breaching the soul contract and agreement, just like noticing what the agreement you have, like what is truly the agreement you have with your roommates. Is it just for paying for being a roommate? Is there something else? Is there like a higher self kind of trade-off in that way? And you could always get clear because people come and go, relationships come and go, roommates come and go. And like, but lack is the only thing that doesn't exist. So if you feel lacking in any way, it's like noticing that, noticing how you feel and kind of getting clear on what is it that you do want. Because they're abundant, they have their higher self. They will survive no matter like they have their own path anyways. So yeah, it's like a belief that you have to like sacrifice yourself or something.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. That's
Mm.
what's coming up. And yeah, it feels yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much.
So just yeah, it's allowing it to be seen in the field. This higher self to remove this thought pattern of sacrificing ourselves for our roommates or for family or for our loved ones and allowing us to just really connect to our true passions, true desires of abundant wealth, monetary wealth, of truth, inner soul. And yeah, like giving, honoring and just extending love to our roommates, allowing that, yeah, just that learned teaching experience from our roommates and our family. But we are allowed to choose something new and giving ourselves permission to choose something new, allowing it to be easy, the grace and ease. If there's any beliefs of it having it be hard, like it's got to be hard, then let's remove that belief, any memories of that we can make it easy, and we could choose the ease and simplicity. Giving yourself permission for it to be easy. It's like the receiving divine feminine, divine masculine, integrating in yourself. Okay, I think that's good. Any other questions that come through or comments?
I do it, now I'm just wondering if like sleep is like super is like important for like, you know, yeah.
Mm.
I was just wondering how important sleep was or if that, yeah, I feel like I haven't been sleeping at all. I've only been getting 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And part of me feels like it doesn't really matter, and part of me is like, oh, but my body feels like and my body feels fine, but at the same time my body feels like I need some really deep rest, hibernation.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe just get the rest. I think it is good to listen to your body. And then you get recharged over it. But yeah, sleep cycles kind of come and go. But I do feel like it is important. Like sleep is important to getting enough rest. And there's really like no competition on like sleep or doing this process. It's like you still have to go through you still have to live still, and you still have to go through things. So yeah, it's like allowing yourself to rest, treating yourself with love and respect, and including your body and your mind, body, spirit. Yeah, because it is cycles. So I do feel like having good sleep is it helps a lot too. But there's going to be times where there could be sleepless or a period of time where it just feels like less sleep, and then it kind of adjusts in that way. So it's like it's really just connecting towards how you feel, and it'll get adjusted. Just having that intention for it. Yeah. And sleep is also the time that your subconscious kind of deals with the work you've done in the waking dream, like in the physical dream. So it's like however you use it, like they're all connected in one form or the other. But it's like it's balancing out itself. Waking dream, sleep, dream state. It's all for your evolution, and that there's nothing to be afraid of. But yeah, nightmares or whatever, like fears can just come and go, but it's just for you to conquer it, transmute it.